What is happening? It's Cadillac Claus. This is the Cadillac van Christmas special. Might see I got a little heater here. This is kind of the topic of the video. When I built it, didn't really think about making a video. I didn't think it'd be that interesting. Put it on Facebook kind of as a joke, and a lot of people were interested in it. So I'm gonna kind of talk about it. Basically, it's a old 55-gallon drum, and it uses waste oil. I've got tons of waste oil laying around. Change oil in the cars, change oil on the hydraulic pumps, so got plenty of it through the year. Wasn't a build one last year, didn't really get cold enough, but it's definitely cold enough this year. It's freaking like 17 degrees. Got this thing fired up. It's got some pros and cons, still got some tuning to do on it. Kind of learning as I go. Right now I got it going good. Yesterday I had it going pretty good. Actually I had it going really good yesterday. But kind of bring you in, talk to you a little bit about it. So this is where we're gonna get everything started at. I'm trying to kind of make sure that's lined up. This is my little drip tube here. In here, I've got a little mixture of gas and oil. I probably have, when I started out, I had probably about that much gas. Probably filled it up to about there with oil. Just kind of play around with the mixture to get it just right. This here can get a little squirrely. You kind of got to just play with it, really figure out how much you got to add to it also. And if you add a whole bunch, it'll go boom. I don't know if it'll necessarily explode. I don't really find out, but it will backfire. Here we go. Uh-oh. That mixture may not be strong enough. Put a little dab in there. I should put some more gas. Let's see what she does. Doesn't look like it wants to get down in there. Might put some more gas in here. It evaporated. Alright, take two. This is probably where it'll go boom. Put me a little bit more gas in there. There we go. That's a little better. That's how you want the light, really. Should catch everything down in the bottom as well. Which it didn't. So that's cool. You know, that's always what you want to do. There we go. She caught. She's good. All right, we'll get the flammable stuff away from that. You can hear it kind of roaring. I actually probably need to enlarge my air holes. You can see the four. Well, you can see three of them. There's one on the back side. I've actually got 8. You can see there a little hole. There's a little hole. I need to probably enlarge them. I did really small holes at first, and this thing smoked like a diesel truck. The whole side of my shop's got coal all built up on it. So probably gonna have to add more air, but we're gonna let it heat up. What you want that dog food bowl down there pretty much glow red, and then you start adding your oil. So as I said, just got a used 55-gallon drum. Work was thrown away, so I got it. On the bottom down there, that's a dog food bowl. Got it from the dollar store, stainless steel. The objective is to get it glowing hot. It's reddish, it's not super glowing. Right there, that's a brake rotor. Nothing fancy, just a rotor. Tried drilling holes in it, the thing was super hard, so I took the plasma cutter, cut some holes. Wasn't the easiest thing to cut a hole in. Probably gonna have to make some bigger holes, get more airflow. Above it, I started out with a piece of 5-inch exhaust pipe. Video I watched, dude said drill a bunch of holes in it. Then the next video he made, he said don't drill a bunch of holes in it. So unfortunately I seen that too late. But I managed to have a piece of 6-inch pipe. I set that up there. That pipe basically goes about that high. There's another section that I cut in here, basically like a big washer, you know, the diameter of the barrel with a 5-inch hole in the center of it. Not exactly sure what that's for. I think it's basically just to build like a little cavity for hot air to sit, kind of keep all that warm. That's my best guess, really. And then we come on up, I got some 5-inch exhaust. That was surprisingly hard to find. And you might notice she's a single pump. Been thinking about upgrading to a double pump. I had this laying around. Thought it'd be kind of cool, a little reservoir. Not to mention I just had it laying around. Plumbing fits right up to it, so that was good. Seals it all. Got her hard lined. That's my oil drip. You just run it down into that. Just keeps her feeding. As you can see here in a little bit, I'll put up a little footage. I had some problems. I didn't really think about it being super cold and oil getting thick when it gets cold. I had to kind of adapt and overcome I'm gonna see if I can get the oil in that tank a little bit warmer. That way it'll flow through there. Right now, I've just kind of been manually feeding it. It's doing okay. I need to get a little bit more oil in there. See if I can get this thing up to a little bit operating temp. My idea totally worked. It isn't quite how I intended to have a heater with propane heating my oil and my oil heating my fire, but hey, it's working. So yeah, I didn't take that in consideration. That was a pretty big setback, really. Managed to come up with a good idea to get it working, you know. This definitely isn't one of those things where I like to set it and forget it and, you know, leave your shop. Obviously, it's fire, so use some common sense, you know. It's oil, it's fuel, it's fire. Your shop's probably made of wood, or you just have flammable things around it, you know. Just I totally store all my paint supplies right next to it. I mean, that's really smart to do, I know. But, you know, you got a fire extinguisher here, so we're trying to keep it somewhat safe. Probably wouldn't recommend it if you live in the city. You know, if you got neighbors that are pretty close, it does put out a little poof of smoke. I have fine-tuned it the first time before I opened those other holes up. Whew, it was rolling some coal, big time. My neighbor actually thought my shop was on fire. We were sitting at the fence talking, and he noticed the smoke billowing out, and it kind of got his attention. He looked down here and had a flame about that big shooting out of the stack on the other side. It probably went maybe a foot, 2 feet out the window. Pretty close to the building, really. I didn't think that fire would be shooting out like that. We were up there talking, and he was like, "Is that a flame?" And I was like, "I don't know, is it?" And we looked at it, and you seen a little glimpse of orange. Well, later on, probably about an hour later, I got this thing like really burning. And I was like, I better go outside and take a look at it. And yeah, it was shooting a big flame out of it. So that wasn't very good. You know, the shop is made of wood. So I went and got some stovepipe, kind of extended it a little bit, and it's good now. It's not shooting any flames out of it. Did get it fine-tuned. It's being a little picky today. The other day was basically like set it and forget it, and it was good. Today I've been having to kind of tweak with it. The oil is good and warm now. I had the torch under there and got it nice and up to temperature. Now just the drum itself is keeping it up to temperature. So that was kind of like the main idea when I first did it. Didn't really take into consideration how cold it would get trying to get it started. So that was kind of a setback. But right now we're like 40, 45, almost 50 degrees. It's been running probably about an hour. I will say I struggled getting this thing lit today. The other day went pretty good. Today is just, man, I think a lot of it had to do with just being so cold, you know, trying to get that oil flowing. It's freaking like 17 degrees. But I literally threw it together pretty much free. The only thing that really cost me was the exhaust pipe. I had to go to a muffler shop to get that. A buddy of mine owns a shop. He gave me some pipe that I used for the downside. Unfortunately, after watching the second video, I kind of realized I didn't need it after I drilled a bunch of holes. But I did have some 6-inch pipe laying around. So yeah, the only thing I really have in it, price-wise, is just the exhaust, the 5-inch exhaust stick. It was 20 bucks, I think, 30 bucks maybe. So not too terrible. For what it's actually accomplishing, I'm pretty happy with that. You know, I had the pump laying around. As I said, I was thinking about upgrading it to a double pump. I'm not kidding. I'm pretty serious about that. The other way, I got 2 oil reservoirs, because that one I do have to top it off. It goes probably, I'd say about an hour on 3 quarts, I guess is what a tank usually holds, 3 quarts, 3.5, somewhere around there. But it does pretty good. The only thing, once it starts getting low, you can definitely notice that it changes the flow down there. It slows down a lot. So I was kind of thinking if I had another oil reservoir there, 1, I wouldn't have to fill it up as frequently, and 2, it'd maybe help keep enough pressure on it to keep it a good steady stream, make it a little bit less finicky when it comes to adjustments. As I said, when I was trying to get it lit, I was struggling. It was producing a good bit of smoke in here, which isn't cool. So I had to have the doors open, had the fans on, which sucks at 19-degree weather. Once I got it situated though, once it is actually burning good, like right now there's no smoke in here, so that's pretty sweet. And I can actually leave the door open, which is nice because it lets a lot more heat in it with the door open than closed. But yeah, getting it to that point, I haven't quite mastered that yet. It's definitely been playing with it, trying to figure it out. But once it is good to go, man, it is awesome. And as you can see, I got the oil bottles here. Just leave them here. Now, you guys can't see that. I got my oil bottle sitting right here. Reason being, keep the oil warm. That when I pour it in there, it's good to go. There's no temperature difference, it cooling off everything, making it flow a lot slower. So kind of using my brain there, trying to work with it. But it's been pretty sweet so far. This is like the third time I've used it. Today is definitely the coldest, and it's pretty comfortable right now. We are about 50 degrees now. It's slowly creeping up. I got a window open on the other side of my shop. My shop is 20 by 28, 30, something like that. It's not huge. But yeah, I literally have a window open. I had the fan in there. I was kind of using it to suck all the smoke out. But for some reason it stopped working. I don't know if there's too much smoke or what. But yeah, it took a dump, so I'm going to have to get a new fan for summertime. Because summertime I turn around and blow air in here and kind of get a breeze going. But, oh well, it is what it is. It's like a $10 fan, so I'm not too mad about that. I got my other fan up here. Well, you guys see it again. I had it on the other day when I was working in here. I had it pointed up. Basically, heat rises. So I kicked it up, kind of got the air flowing around, and it had a pretty sweet in here. I was really comfortable working. It wasn't this cold, but it was pretty cold. It was definitely windy outside, so it made it feel like it was this cold. But it was a pretty sweet work environment, so I enjoyed it. As of right now, it's pretty warm sitting right here. Temperature's still rising, so that's always a good thing. But you also got to think, you're not going to just be sitting in your shop. No, you might be. But most of the time, you're not going to be sitting in your shop. You're going to be working. You're going to be moving, which kind of creates some heat there. So really, in all honesty, it's pretty sweet. Because if I get too hot over here, I just go over there and work on that side of the project. Get cold, come back over here, warm up. As I said before, probably wouldn't do it if I was like in the city or had some really close neighbors. You can't smell burning oil when you go outside. It's not terrible, but it's definitely noticeable. And like I said, if you don't have this thing fine-tuned, it does roll some coal. So that kind of brings some interest your way. People might think your shop's on fire or you're just, polluting the earth. Yeah. But it's not too bad. The pros outweigh the cons so far, definitely. Pretty happy with it. As I said, it has been a little finicky today. Don't know why. I managed to get oil on my Santa costume. I mean, my real Santa suit. I borrowed this from Santa. He gave it to me earlier today. He said he was done with it for the year. But yeah, I just figured I'd bring you guys along for it. Let's check it out. If you have any questions, best thing I can say is YouTube. I'm no pro on this. That's kind of how I learned how to do it. But definitely a fun little project, a useful project. Be getting a few years use out of this at least. When it's done, I'll probably put it outside. The barrel sat out there for the last few years, hasn't rotted out, so it'll probably sit there for a few more years. Doesn't really take up a whole lot of space. I had my press there in front of the window, so I did have to move that out of the way, but it is what it is. I got a small little work area. Doesn't really take too much area. It's back in between my toolbox and my parts washer, so it isn't really intruding too much. Press is the only thing I had to really move, which I could probably find a better place for it. I guess in front of the window is the absolute best place. Whatever, it is what it is. But I think I'm probably gonna end the video here. We're at like 50 degrees. Ain't too bad. So hit the like button, because it did take me a long time to get here. It took me probably about an hour of messing around with this thing to get it, where it was a comfortable temperature and burning good and all that good stuff. There is a little bit of setup on it. I'm sure once I start playing with it more and more, it will get better. But it's just a learning curve. Definitely worth the little bit of investment I have in it, that's for sure. So I appreciate you watching. Hope you guys have a Merry Christmas or whatever holiday you're celebrating. Hope you have subscribed already. As I said, hit the like button, share it if you will. That always helps. But until the next time, just remember, you won't know what you can do till you try. I built a heater. I'm like practically a HVAC certified guy now. I'm just adding to my resume. Anyways, we're gonna get to it. Hope you guys have a good Christmas. I'll see you later. Not too shabby from where we started. That's not oil, it's poo.